You guys are back with your fifth record in Title 5. I mean, this time around you guys had creative control, and that made the studio dynamic, knowing that there were no other chefs in the kitchen, so to speak.
A&R guys.
Yeah, it made it so much more enjoyable. I mean, what was the dynamic like overall this time around?
This time around, the band itself produced half the record, so it's like, it's kind of, I mean, you get A&R guys sometimes saying like, go this way, go that way. This is the first time where like we actually were like, hey, we know our music better than anyone, let's produce our own songs, you know, it's like from start to finish, so I think it showed.
Yeah, and you don't have someone you have to please, like we're harder to please than anybody else, so like when you're doing the record, you don't need some dude who's never written songs telling you, hey, this is how it should be or how it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So that was more of a nuisance, and half the time they tell you stuff just to be able to say they did their job.
Yeah,
so
A&R guys will be like, hey, how about a hi-hat right here? And you put it, okay, that's a hit now.
Yeah, now it's a hit.
It's like, fuck you.
But that made it more of a jam session for you guys. You mentioned, Johnny, that this time around it was because there was no outside involvement. It was more of a jam session. It was just
I mean, we hold ourselves responsible. I mean, like if we were like lazy, maybe we would need someone like that. But no one's more critical of us than us. So it was a lot of fun because there's it's just the band and the guys we record with, and that makes it a very free experience. It's not like I don't know, not as structured and stuff. It adds to the flavor.
Yeah, and with each passing record, Hollywood Undead, you guys reinvent yourselves. I mean, it's just where you are at that moment in time. It's not about given expressions. I mean, is that what do you feel that's why this is going down as one of your most accessible records to date?
Just because we get better and better, bro.
Each
so
time we make a record, I'm like, damn, are we gonna grow up ever? But no, I'm still drinking tequila in the studio, fucking get shit-faced. So, yeah.
That must have been enjoyable for you, Jade. I mean, you and Charlie, you mentioned 7 songs of the record you produced. From a production standpoint, I mean, was that a unique challenge for you, or did you just embrace it?
We've been like producing music for a lot, but the thing is, like, we always had it in our brain that someone else had to produce it. We just didn't accept that fact that we could do it ourselves. And then we take songs of the producer, we're happy the way a lot of them turned out, so we're like, fuck it, let's just do it ourselves, and it came out great.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. It's like I think that fans like dig a lot of the songs that we did because like we understand our music more than anybody.
When you were going about sequencing this record, did you identify California Dreaming as the opener early on, because it sets the tone really well? When you had this batch of songs, did you think, yeah, this is going to open the record?
No, I mean, what's funny is picking the record's always like the sequence. People don't realize how much we think like, oh, does this go into this? It's actually a pretty interesting process. So we didn't know until the day we like really sat down to do it that was going to open it, but it just made sense, and you kind of listen to that into the next song, and it's kind of like putting a puzzle piece together, I guess.
What was it like to form the track J-Dog Broken Record? I mean, this is one of the standout tracks personally for me on the record. I mean, with the layers and the tones that I implied, was it a free-flowing process, or did you have a direction in mind with this one?
That one kind of did a left turn because at first it was like those heavy verses weren't there, and we added the guitar, the dun 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 dun. And it was weird because we're having trouble with the chorus on that one. We actually did a key change, so it's like the song's in a minor key. We did like the equivalent key change to a major key. That's why the chorus like explodes like that, because you're like, holy shit, like it sounds so different. So we actually had trouble with that one, but when it came together, we're like, holy shit, this is amazing,
Yeah, and at the center of it all, you guys have such a loyal legion of fans. I mean, they turn up and meet and greets, and one of the amazing things is the tattoos they have of you guys, and so many various tattoos. I mean, it must be overwhelming that not only do they show up in droves, but the support that they give you worldwide. It must be amazing.
I just think that like bands need to be more honest with themselves. Like, don't pretend to be something you're not. So bands are like, we're fucking rock stars, we're this. Like, people should worship me. It's like, dude, we just treat our fans like they're everyday people, just like we are. So people, I think, understand our honesty when it comes across, because we don't take anything for granted. So I think people see that.
Johnny, for yourself, I mean, is it quite the challenge to balance family life, with the band, or do you just revel in it and completely enjoy it all?
Well, no, I'm not thinking Danny's got kids and stuff, and Funny just had himself a baby. So I mean, we do it. It's definitely two different worlds, and you just try and do your best to do both. I know I'd be unhappy without both. So you kind of have to learn to do both. I just FaceTime my kid because it's the morning and where we live, so you do all those things, like an Oreo commercial, I eat one and she eats one, even though we're in different time zones. It's really cute.
Does Ava still come? I mean, I understand she's come to a few of your shows and she rocks out. She really enjoys it. So
the kids only come to like local shows and stuff. Actually, the last show we did, Danny's daughter, we were like doing our sound check, and she was looking at us like we were idiots. So they're getting that, they thought it was cool, and they're like, whatever. You know, we're not cool enough.
They're like, Daddy, why are you pulsating on stage?
So, you know, the kids, they love it, they think it's cool, but kids are great to bring you back down to earth. They don't give a crap.
Yeah,
so after
exactly.
you're done, they're just like, I want candy.
Yeah, my sister's
Oh,
kids, like they're teenagers now, and like they come to the show and they're just on their phones. I'm like, do you not see all these people screaming? They're just like,
They don't care.
Yeah,
shit.
They're playing Minecraft.
Jada, for yourself, I understand you're a vegetarian. I mean, how's that coming along? I mean, do you feel there's certain benefits coming into play?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, all the good benefits I outweigh with bad, like drinking. So it's like, I feel good, but then I'm drunk and then hungover. So it's not as hard as I thought it was. Being a vegetarian, I was like, fuck, this is gonna be hard, especially touring. Actually, England's pretty lenient with vegetarians, like a lot more than America is, surprisingly.
More vegetarian options?
Yeah, like Burger King has like black bean burgers. and
Really?
shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
There's quite a range.
I
Yeah.
love BK.
Are you guys boxing fans? I mean, I know John Molina is you guys obviously mentioned, yeah.
Not the boxing is. I have always loved boxing, but it's taken a turn. Like Molina's one of those few fighters that likes to slug it out, but fighting's gotten really I think people have moved more to the UFC because boxing becomes so technical and it's more of like defensive boxing. You know, the days with like Mike Tyson, all these it's very rare that you see that anymore.
You just want to see people get knocked out.
And sadly, it's true. You want to see people get beat up.
Are you fans of the UFC? Or do you guys?
I love the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan, like everybody else.
Yeah.
I used to, the John Jones thing. That's really sad that the situation with him. But there's a lot of fighters I like and stuff, and I think the UFC is a little more entertaining at this point. But watching Mayweather and these guys box, it's just like it's not very fun.
Dana White said he's like people say you ruin boxing. He's like, dude, the world needs
boxing ruined itself.
Yeah, it's like the world needs a heavyweight champion. Then people will get back into boxing. There needs to be another Mike Tyson. Like then people will start watching boxing.
Do you think that's about to happen with Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder?
He's badass. I hope so. Because like he said, it really needs it. Because defensive boxing, I get it. Like you want to win the fight, but I wouldn't pay to watch it.
What is your biggest drive? Is it to just change the conversation with each passing record and just give an honest, like you said, representation of yourselves?
I think the key is to because obviously we have a fan base, and they're the reason we got to do what we do. You want to make your fan base happy, but I also want to not only challenge us but challenge them. A lot of you run into a lot of people who say, they like particular records. Do another record like this, not realizing that if you did another record like that, they'd be disappointed because it's the same record.
Yeah, it's not as good as the other one.
Yeah, so you have to challenge your listener as well as your. It's hard for us. I mean, we challenge ourselves in the studio and stuff, but to challenge people who like our music to maybe listen to something that they wouldn't is cool to me, because we got a lot of fans that they really like, let's say, heavy music. We don't only play heavy music. A lot of our music is poppier and stuff. So I love seeing metal kids and people like that listening to something they normally wouldn't because we made it, and you're broadening their horizons, and I enjoy that aspect of our band personally.
It's cool playing metal festivals like Belgium, like Grass Pop.
Or Hellfest.
Hellfest, and there's these fucking metalheads who are long hair and Metallica shirts, and we're playing a party song. It's basically like a fucking club track, and they're just bobbing their heads
Yeah.
It's cool to get approval.
They realize it's okay to have a good time.
Yeah.
You don't have to just beat the shit out of each other.